All right, guys, once again, this is Monday Night Live. We're excited about tonight's event. This is different than what you've ever seen before. We're 40 strong, and then those numbers have grown. We know we'll have more people on, but rightfully so. This is the one that you want to be on and you want to have your team on. We're going to hear from the horse's mouth tonight. We're going to break this thing down and get a full understanding of what all this excitement is about across the country as it relates to MWR. So who better to tell this story than the originator himself, the gentleman that created the platform, that God gave the vision to, and he followed through and develop what I consider to be the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome to the platform the CEO and founder of MWR, my good friend, Mr. Brian House.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, my friend, if it gets any better, I won't be able to stand it. This is such an exciting night for all of us. The fact that you're taking time out of your schedule from your family to be with us tonight. One, there's a sense of urgency. You heard Ben and I talk about where we are as it relates to the calendar and the fact that the promotion that we've ignited ends at the end of the month, which is just a few days away. But not only that, I think, Brian, you're going to be able to give us a really some insight on why all this is happening, why there's so much excitement, and why MWR, when we look at where we find ourselves as it relates to this economy, and people struggling in their financial life, knowing that we have the solution to the problem that 98% of the people in this country are facing, and we know the issue is finances. So we've got the ability to fix all that. I call us the fixers. We can bring to the table a solution in real time. And we see it happening every single day across this country, the impact that this program is having and will continue to have. I believe that MWR is the new American economy. No question about it, sir.
Yeah, no, Gerald, I appreciate you saying that. And I can tell you, when you look at what's happening around you right now, I feel so blessed that we're positioned the way that we are to be able to have such an impact on people's lives, especially in a time that it's so needed. And you and I have talked back and forth, Gerald, about just things that are happening right now that I've never seen, not in my 54 years of life. I can vaguely remember some crazy things back in the 70s when Carter was in and interest rates were through the roof. Didn't affect me. It affected my parents at that time because I was a little kid. But at the same time, I'm just looking at everything that's happening around us, and there's some real challenges. And I just feel like this company, you know how I feel, you know what my faith is, Gerald. And I always say this, guys, I respect everybody's faith, but I obviously respect my own faith as well. And I think we all should. If you believe in something, you should stand behind it. But I just feel like this is divine intervention. I feel like this company was put into place, and this calling that I've been given to be able to do MWR was done at a time that God knew what was getting ready to happen, And but the crazy thing about it is, Gerald, is that we're in an opportunity that thrives in any economy, and that's what's crazy about it. If the economy's great, people want to know how to do better, and we got the solution. If the economy's struggling, people want to know how to do better, and we've got the solution. So, or if it's doing great, they want to know how to take advantage of it, and we've got the solution. Whatever you look at, as long as there's money or currency out there, regardless of what form it's going to be, there's always going to be a need for what MWR provides, and that's that team of experts and an opportunity that take you from zero to hero, that meet people right where they are and help them get to wherever they want to be financially. And so I'm just humbled and honored and blessed that God has put me in this position to be able to work with such incredible people and be able to make a difference in people's lives. And I will tell you, Gerald, over and above the money, that's the most rewarding thing there is. I'm listening to you. And I'm just going to point this out, guys. We've got 5 days left in two promotions. We've got our go for the gold leaderboard promotion that if people don't know about that, check it out, because we're actually giving away some gold, some real currency and some silver in that you have the ability to be able to participate in. But we also have our financial independence promotion, which we've extended from July through August. Gerald, you know as well as I do, I've never ran a promotion this long. And we
Right.
didn't decide this. We left it up to the field. We let the field vote on it at the beginning of the month and said, or on the 7th, I believe it was, and said, you know what, we're not going to make this decision. We're going to let you guys, this is your business too. We're going to let you make the decision. And if you want us to extend this promotion on our Telegram channel, give us all these fire emojis or whatever. And every single one of them were fire emojis. So it was like over 200 of them came in what, a few hours. And it was like, okay, so I guess we're going to extend this. And so we've extended it the longest we ever have. I will tell you this, it's going to end. It's going to end because, to be perfectly honest with you, if we charged $10,000 to participate in MWR, I still think it would be a bargain. I still think it would be a bargain just because of the results that we're producing for people, the amount of money that we're putting back into people's pockets by turning their expenses back into income, the amount of money that they're able to make through our opportunity. And we're going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow. Actually, Gerald, we're going to be doing a live, me and Adamo, because we're going to be rolling out. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to cover some highlights on it. But we're going to be rolling out our new compensation or revenue sharing plan presentation or PowerPoint. So everybody's going to be able to see that. And we're going to be talking about the power of MWR's revenue sharing plan. Because guys, I love what our services do and how they put more money in people's pockets. But I'm also a big believer that making more money solves a majority of people's financial problems, especially if they know how to do the right things with that money, and which is what our company is all about. And without you having to become an expert, because our experts do it all for you, which is phenomenal. But there's some things, Gerald, that I'm going to point out. And we were talking about some struggles. And I'll give you a good example. The average family of four right now, it takes them $11,000 more per year to be able to maintain the same lifestyle that they had 18 months ago. $11,000 more per year. And guess what? Their incomes didn't go up during that time period. So they have to spend $11,000 more to be able to provide the same lifestyle they had 18 months ago, and they didn't make any more money on top of that at their jobs. Okay, that's crazy to me. Then I look at statistics that, like I posted this on Telegram, Gerald, from Yahoo Finance, and it says the average American right now has to earn 80% more income. 80%, guys, not 8%, 80% more income than they did in 2020 to afford a home in today's market.
Wow.
4 years later. This is not political either. This is, and so I don't want anybody to take this as this. Whoever you vote for, that's up to you. I don't care who it is, because I also live by a philosophy that if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And if I'm going to depend on our government, I don't care if they're Republican, Independent, Democrat. I don't care who they are. Okay. They do not have my best interest at heart when it comes to my family and my finances. And that's just the way it is. If you do, and I'm going to be brutally honest when I say this, money is what makes the decisions in this country. If you have the ability to lobby, to be able to get laws passed or get bills passed, that's what makes the decisions. If you have money to be able to donate to campaign funds of individuals to buy votes in Congress, that's what makes the decisions. And if you don't believe me, go look at every bill that's ever been passed for the last 30 years and find out and follow the money. You'll find out exactly why those bills were passed. One reason I say that, I'll give you a real good example, Gerald, and I'll get off this topic. But good example is the Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act. The Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act that was passed years ago. Okay. If you ever read that act, there's absolutely nothing in there that was designed to protect the consumer. But they attached Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act. They attached Consumer Protection Act to the end of it, Gerald. That law had nothing to do with protecting the consumer. All it did was make it harder on the consumer to be able to participate in bankruptcy, which was all designed to benefit big banks and big business. Okay. So that's what I mean. A lot of what we see is a facade when it comes to politics. And so you got to follow the money. You got to be able to read between the lines. You got to be a critical thinker when it comes to it. And Gerald, you know me, I don't vote based on people. I vote based on policies.
Yes, sir.
Policies that affect my family, my faith, my family, and my finances. Those are the main three things that I worry about. So with that, these are some staggering statistics. The good news is MWR has the solution to all this, Gerald. We have the answer to all this. I feel like we've been put into place to remedy all the financial challenges that are out there. You know what I mean? And because there's really nothing in someone's financial life that we can't remedy, whether it's credit or debt or taxes or savings or investments, whether it's making more money, any of those things, all of it's there. Now, here's the key to this, though, and this is something that I think is important. I learned a long time ago, Gerald, and you and I, again, we've had this conversation. You know me, my income focus, and guys, this is not to put down a job. So please don't, I am a firm believer you have to do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Okay. And so I think jobs are a wonderful thing because they're a gateway to get you to where you want to be. Okay. So a lot of people have to do this. And I had to do it when I started out. Okay. But I want you to really think about this. The only income streams I have are residual or passive income streams. I do not have linear income streams in my life. I eliminated that a long time ago. And that's what you have with a job. A linear income stream is something where you're trading time for money. The challenge with that is there's very rarely ever enough time to be able to make all the money you want or need to make when you're doing linear income, trading time for money. So I've always been a big fan of residual and passive income. Passive income, my money's working for me in my sleep. Okay. It's still working 24/7, never calls in sick, never ends up, giving me an excuse of why I can't show up to work. It just works 24/7. Okay. Love that. All right. Now, residual income. When it comes to me putting time and energy into something, and I'm telling all of you guys this for a reason, and I'll get to it just a second, but residual income, the reason that's so important is because residual income allows you to get paid to do something one time, but get paid over and over and over again, month after month after month after month. What that does is that gives you the ability to condense time frames to add to your income every month instead of just trading time to replace or maintain it. Once you understand those two concepts and you shift your mindset into that direction and you start making that happen, you will never go back. You will never go back. I'll guarantee you, Gerald Parker will never go back to a linear income. He's never going back to a JOB scenario where he's trading time for money. He will always focus on building a residual or a passive income. Am I wrong about that, Gerald? All right. Well, I didn't think I was wrong about it, but and that's what's allowing him to be able to do some incredible things in his life right now and have the time freedom to be able to enjoy those things. So that's what our whole revenue sharing plan was all about. But here's the challenge when it comes to that. Not a lot of opportunities out there that provide a true residual income. This is not to put other companies down, okay? But I will tell you, the average annual retention rate in the network marketing industry for members or people that participate in other network marketing companies ranges typically anywhere between 15 to 20% annual retention rate. That means every time if you put 4 people in this month, chances are you're going to replace 3 of them next month. And in most programs, that's just the reality. Okay. So you have to stay ahead of attrition. Here's what's crazy about MWR. The last time I was on this live with you, Gerald, our annual retention rate had dropped a little bit. It went to 59.3%. We are right now at 62.1% annual retention rate. That retention rate is going up. Now, I want you to think about that compared to the average in the industry, where people are out there building businesses in the network marketing industry, in the direct sales industry, with a 15 to 20% retention rate, meaning they have to constantly keep going and stay ahead of attrition. With our program, 62.1% of the people that get involved in this program will be here at the end of the year or next year at this time. That's unheard of. That allows you to add to your income every single month. Now, why does that happen? Because we are the only opportunity on the planet. The only, name another one, please. Somebody tell me, okay? We're the only opportunity on the planet that guarantees through our membership to be able to put more money into people's pockets every month than what it costs them to participate. Well, if you were getting more benefit out of something every month than what it cost you to participate, that's an investment and a return on investment, not another bill, not another bill, not a standing order or some shipment you're getting in and things piling up in your garage. Again, not that those are bad companies. I believe you can make money doing whatever you're passionate about. But if I'm doing something, I want to know that my reputation's on the line. I want to know when I introduce somebody to something that there's no risk and there's nothing it can do to hurt them. They will never be able to look back at me and go, that Brian House got me in that MWR thing and I lost money. They can't say that here. They can't say that here. So you have a no risk opportunity that you're able to present to people that all it can do is put more money in their pockets than what it cost them to participate. Only thing we ask is to be a participant in your own success. That's it, Gerald. You don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops and hurdles. Our experts are going to do all the work when it comes to our services. Only thing you have to do is share this opportunity with others, okay? And share your success, share your story with others. Now, Gerald, I'm going to hit on something else real quick, and then I'm going to shut up and you can ask me questions or whatever. But I want everybody to understand this. When I started MWR, it took hundreds of thousands of dollars to put everything into place. All of our IT and our systems and our merchant accounts and phone systems and hiring and training staff. There was over 10,000 man hours that were invested in development and systems and commissioning system and services and contracting with experts and all of these things that go into setting up a business like this, okay? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, or over 10,000 man hours before we ever made a dime. Before we ever made a dime. Now, you can bet that with that type of commitment and investment, that I had better believe in what I was doing, and I had better be willing to work it, okay? Sometimes I honestly feel like, Gerald, I wish that people could put themselves in my shoes. I wish that you knew what it was like to be able to have that type of risk that you're willing to take in order to be able to start and build a business. Now, here's the crazy part about that. We did all of this for you. We did all of this for you. I'm going to give you another statistic, and I want you to think about this. I want you to look at our compensation plan, our revenue sharing plan, and you'll realize that we pay out almost 80% to the field and our vendors. Here's the crazy part. When you build a MWR business and an organization, do you realize that the profit margin on your organization, the amount of money that you make, is more than what we make as a company. We literally have reversed it compared to what conventional business means, okay? And most network marketing companies. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. I don't know of a CEO out there that says, you know what, if the people that we introduce to this program go out and build this program, we're going to allow them to make more than we make. Guys, you build an MWR organization, I promise you, your profit margin on your organization is higher than my profit margin on your organization, meaning you make more money off of your organization than I do as the owner. Here's the other thing I'll tell you. Gerald, you've been around for a while, okay? And you're one of the first people I called, and we'll talk about this too. But one thing I will tell you guys is that in 7 years, we have enhanced this compensation plan. Every time the company hit a milestone and did better, we gave more to the field without them being required to do more. We've had 3 events where we have given pay raises that people walked out of that event making more money, either in daily residual income or upfront money, than what they were making before they went in, and we didn't ask them to do any more or pay any more to be able to get it. And it will continue to work like that, because I'm not in this to become wealthy. I say this humbly. If I don't make another dime, I'm fine for the rest. My family's set for life. Okay. This was a faith-based decision to put this company together. And I'm humbled and grateful that we're a multi-million-dollar debt-free company. Okay. I love that. But I will tell you, this is not about the money for me. And I know that, not that I have anything against making money. I've done it all my life. But at the same time, this was way bigger than that. Okay. Way bigger than that. And so with that, I wanted you guys to know those things because I think it's important. Last thing I'm going to say, Gerald and I keep saying this, and I apologize, guys. I am hoarse. I just got over COVID last week. Okay. Good thing is we're on a Zoom, so you can't get it from me, but, and I'm over it, but I've still got a little residual effect from COVID. But one thing I will tell you too, guys, is after that investment, after those tens of thousands of man hours, and we haven't made a dime yet when we started this company, I had to go out on top of everything else that we were doing. I had to go out and I had to start building this thing just like every single one of you are building your own businesses. Yep. I had to present, I had to train, I had to do it all because there was nobody else that was going to do it. Okay. And then we eventually brought on other people that could help with that. But I made a phone call to a Gerald Parker. Okay. And he's one of the first guys. And I will tell you, this is what's crazy, guys. There are 5 people that started out as key leaders in this company. There are only 2 of them left because the other 3 couldn't see the vision. Okay. The other 3 couldn't see the vision, but Gerald could and Damo could. Okay. Wow. We all knew what we had a hold of, and it's grown into what it is now. But I will tell you, I picked up that phone. I called people. I told them I had something that I needed them to take a look at because I felt like it was the next greatest thing ever in this industry. And I wanted them to be a part of it with me. And guys, I presented. I'd get them on a Zoom because we didn't have videos and all kinds of wonderful things that we could show them. I would do Saturday trainings, and I would help them understand how to build and how to understand our compensation plan and what it took, to be able to run a system. Because I did have a system that we ran. which is real similar to what you see now with our success system. But I want you to know I've been there, but I also had the risk. And when I say put yourself in my shoes, tomorrow morning or tonight, when you get off of this, I want you to stop looking at this thing like I've just got $100 invested in it, or I just put $149.97 in a month in it, and I'm using the experts. I want you to look at this like I have just put $250,000 into this business, and I have to make it work. I am eliminating there is no plan B for me. It is a plan A. Gerald knows when I made the commitment to do this, I had the second largest glass repair and replacement company in the United States, only behind Safelite, that we built up in 2.5 years, turned it into about a $12.5 million business, got rid of it to be able to focus 100% of my attention on MWR, because I knew in order to be great at anything, okay, I had to have vision and a singular focus. I cannot be fooling around with 10 different things and expect to make all of them work and create multiple puddles. I wanted to be able to create a massive stream of revenue for thousands and tens of thousands and eventually millions of people, that this company creates more millionaires than any other company in history. And Gerald, we're on our way to making that happen. So listen, I just threw up on everybody. I went over a lot of stuff, but is there anything you want me to talk about, Gerald, or you want to ask me or anything for the team?
Yeah, well, just a couple of things. I clearly remember that day that the call was made, that you called me and shared the concept with me. And you didn't talk about a business idea. You said you wanted to share a vision with me, a vision that God had given you to create a financial strategies company that would fit the needs of the average everyday person. You not understanding how bad I needed this in my own life. So I jumped all over it, man. And sure enough, it worked. It did exactly what you said it was going to do. I surrounded myself with those experts that got incredible results. And here's what I knew. I knew a million people that needed the same thing that happened to them. They wanted the same kind of results in their own life because they were like me, paid on Friday, broke on Monday, living paycheck to paycheck, destined to die broke. And we wanted a way out. So they gravitated toward it. And yes, look at the explosion, what's happening. But the impact that MWR is having in the lives of tens of thousands of people across this country still blows my mind to see what we're able to do. But when you talk about the ability to build a stream of income over and above whatever you might be doing right now, this is the ticket. No question. I'm just convinced. But, you mentioned something earlier, Brian, the fact that the whole setup, right, that we have the ability to put more money back into your pocket than what it's costing you to participate. I mean, just think about that, guys. And again, we talked earlier about the gentleman that had the recent success just a few days ago in 48 hours, positioned himself to make, $50 a day, $1,500 a month. And in the process of growing that business in that short 48 hours, made like $2,300 up front. Where else do you go where something like that can happen? You look at compensation plans across this country in this industry by far. And I want to bring Fernando Ramirez on this platform, Brian, because you think about a guy who's made $20,000, $30,000 a month in this industry. And this guy's lost his mind based on this revenue sharing program that you've developed. And Fernando, I've given you the ability to unmute yourself and open your camera. But go ahead, sir, while we wait on.
Before Fernando comes up, I want to say this. The guy you're talking about is Montavo Lewis. Okay. And I want you to hear this. In the last 48 hours, his team, he's personally enrolled 10 people, but his team has already grown to 68 new qualified marketing directors in the last 48 hours.
Wow.
Gerald, in the last 48 hours. And talking to him, he just has an unbelievable sense of urgency and excitement about what we're doing. I think sometimes people get analytical about what we're doing and they overthink it, when what really motivates or resonates with people is your level of excitement about what's happening for you, about what you see with this company, and they want a piece of that. They want They want some of that in their life because guess what? Most people don't have that excitement in their life. So when you're talking to people about Gerald, oh my gosh, I've got something you have got to check out. You got a pen? Write this down. I want you to go to this website, check this out. I'm going to call you back in 15 minutes. It's going to blow you away. It's everything people need right now in this economy. You've got to go see this. If I have that sense of urgency and excitement, Gerald, you're going to be like, what's the site? What's this all about? I'm not going to tell you over the phone. Just go check it out. It's going to take you 10 minutes. Okay. But I'm going to do that. Then I look at like a Zena Edgehill, and what she's accomplishing right now. Ira Jackson, in the last few days, this guy is lighting it up. Look at him on the leaderboard. He's already got 10 personals on the leaderboard. Zena's a 3-star executive director. Ira, in what a short period of time here, is already promoted to 2-star executive director on her team. And I mean, they're just, guys, stories like this are all over the place right now. But I just want you to understand, they're nothing. I do not mean this in a bad way, guys. They're nothing any more special than what you are. They're just using what's excited them. I look at Zena and being able to get into a house in 3 weeks. And do you think her excitement level is through the roof, Gerald?
It is.
She's
Yes,
telling
sir.
everybody on the planet, you got to check this thing out.
Doing.
Look at what it's done for me. I can't believe this, It's great stuff.
It's incredible, but like you say, there's got to be a sense of urgency and a level of excitement, to get people to take a look at what you're excited about. Because you think about it, excitement is contagious. If you're excited, people want to know what you're excited about. And you share that, man. And we say it all the time. I mean, get excited to stay broke forever. And you better get excited about something. And here's an opportunity to do some incredible things, not just for yourself, but for so many people across this country who are living, as Ben McCrae always says, quiet lives of desperation, man.
Yes.
That struggle does exist. And we have the opportunity to share something that changes all of that. And I want to, Ben, while we wait on Fernando, but Mr. McCrae, you and I spoke earlier before we launched the platform, but if you could come on, and ladies and gentlemen, here's a man who has a traditional business, owns his own insurance brokerage, but saw MWR as an opportunity, and he's betting that MWR builds the future for his children, and he's putting that before his insurance business. I mean, think about that. So what is really happening here? What is he seeing that maybe many of us have yet to see? Mr. McCrae.
Absolutely, man. And wow, Mr. House, your passion doesn't waver. Amazing. I mean, it just, man, I will call you coach, man, because if you were in the locker room, you're supposed to go out there and just win. And I love you for it. But
Hey,
man,
well, I love you. And I got to say this about Ben. Guys, Ben's been around this industry. Yes. He knows when there's something good and when there's something not. And so for him to, plant his flag and to make the commitments that he's made, that's a big deal. So Ben, I didn't want to take over and say, take your thunder, but
no, absolutely. Absolutely. And the reality is, and we hear it, and it's not just a saying. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's our job, is simply to get out there and share it, plant the seed inside of as many people as possible. They may not jump on board right away. They might go wander off in the wilderness and try something else, but they'll never find a company that puts in 30 days, over $2,000 in their pocket, $1,500 a month in guaranteed residual income. No matter what they try to do, they will never unsee this. And just to answer your question, Dr. Parker, is I talk to people every day. And the reality is, people have a desire to invest more, save more, position their families to be able to, build that legacy. But if you live in paycheck to paycheck, you don't have any discretionary income. I sit with folks who want to get certain policies and they can't afford them.
Yeah.
And what this company does is we help people to find the money. We show them how to solidify their financial foundation, where we find the cash flow and then reallocate that into the things that's going to help them to build wealth, making wealth real. And there's no gotchas here. And that's the thing I love about this. It's straight to the point. It's simple. It's not a gotcha inside of our compensation plan. There's many companies that look all sexy on the outside. Oh man, that looks good. But once you get in there, you lift that daggone hood up. You got to do all kinds of PVs and BVs, right side, left side, to the oh man, and you like
Right.
But over here it's straight up. 12 recruits on your team, positioned accordingly, $600 a month. 36 people, $1,500 a month. 180. I mean, come on. The comp plan is straight up, no gotchas, no trap doors, and we bring true value to the marketplace. So I'm fired up and excited. We're wrapping things up, man, and this is just the beginning. It's the beginning of the beginning. We haven't even scratched the surface.
Nope.
No question about it. But when you talk about that compensation plan being all by design, and again, I tip my hat to you, Brian, for structuring in the way that you have to give the average person a chance to win. When you talk about nearly 80% of the income that the company generates is paid out to the field, the fact that I have the ability to earn more money than even you, the CEO and founder of MWR, where else do you go, guys, to get a shot like that? Fernando's up next. We definitely want to hear from this young man out of Southern California who within 8 months, ladies and gentlemen, 8 months, positioned themselves as a regional director. That's $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year. Before we go further, how many of us know people or know anyone that makes $73,000 a year, much less the ability to do it in a matter of 8 months? This is insane, but only at MWR. And Fernando, I'm still convinced that the big draw for you was this revenue sharing program.
You know what? Honest truth, I remember having that conversation through LinkedIn with Mr. Brian House. You can remember that conversation, right, buddy?
I do.
Man, I was praying. We were praying. My wife and I were praying for an opportunity, and we needed to find the right path. And we have to shift gears because Mr. Brian House concept was completely different than what we came in with. Yep. So we needed to re-educate ourselves. And then one day I pulled out the compensation plan of our previous practice company that we're with, and then I sent them the snapshots of the pictures. And he looked at it, right? We probably had about 14,000 people active, but we grew to 20,000. So he goes, Fernando, he says, Mr. Brian House, listen, with that structure and the numbers that you have on that team right here, it would pay you way much more than what you were generating over there. Because we did make about $40,000, $50,000 at points a month. And I said, what do you mean? So I really had to take a look at the compensation plan differently. And I said, wait a minute, there's something I'm not understanding here. Even though I've been in this industry for 30 years, it's paid me $7 million in 30 years. But when I saw this, I go, wait a minute, you mean to tell me, and Dr. G.W. Parker always used to tell me, Fernando, get a customer to get paid. Because you, Mr. Brian House, you were a witness. We exploded when we came in. We just explode those numbers. And I was not getting the concept. But long story short, guys, when I understood the compensation plan, it was the guaranteed income that made me fall in love with this concept. And I said, I got to listen to Mr. Brian House, and he's a strong coach, man. When he tells you something, he tells you something. And I love that about him. He doesn't go around the bush trying to make it sound nice. I got to hear it the way I need to hear it. And when I hear from him, I stay quiet, I listen, I put my head down, and I keep working. See, that's one thing that I love about what we do here is we have true leadership. Mr. Brian House has been through the trenches. I saw him from a distance back in 2005 with another company, but never worked with him. But when I saw him again in LinkedIn, I said, we found the right leader. He's got something good happening. We play the video. I send the video to Anna. Anna goes, Fernando, let me take a look at his life story. So she went ahead and did her due diligence, finding more information about you. He goes, Fernando, this is the right thing. It's the right time. We got to get this done now. So Mr. Brian House, it's been an honor working alongside with you.
Thank you.
I know your expectations, are very high from what would you expect from your teammates. And we kind of left you a little bit on Fernando, what happened? You exploded, but then what happened, right? It happened. But remember, I focused my game plan in 5 years. And you're going to be very proud of us, Mr. Brian House. Once you see what we bring to the table and the leadership that we have and we're developing, 5 years from now, I promise you, we're going to be the strongest, diverse organization that you'll ever have in MWR. So, and I stand behind those words, Mr. Brian House. Thank you so much, Dr. G.W. Parker. Thank you so much. We love you, Mr. Brian House. We love you, Dr. G.W. Parker, and we love our team. We're so proud of each and every one of our kids. They're doing a phenomenal job.
I
That's
love it.
exciting,
Thank
and
you,
we're excited for
Fernando.
you. Go ahead, Brian.
Wow. Man, who doesn't want
Listen,
to follow that guy?
yeah, I know it's very difficult to do, but he's a superstar. He's an incredible leader, man. I've learned so much from him myself because he's got more time in the industry than even I do. But what I love about him, he's built within MWR the largest Latino team within the company, and it's growing every single day. And they're having an incredible month. And as we go into the end of the month, we're going to see some more incredible things happen. And guys, that's kind of what this is about tonight too. Let's talk a little bit, Brian, about the sense of urgency, the fact that we need to finish this because again, this promotion is not coming back around. You've extended it farther than you ever have. I've never seen you do this in the 7 years that I've been around, but we've been given chance after chance after chance. And let us not squander that chance and make the most of this and wrap this thing up in a big way on the 31st. Now, think about it. The story he told you about the young man that within 48 hours, we've got far more than 48 hours before we get to the 31st of August, guys. We've got far more than 48 hours. So if he can do it in 48 hours, surely we can finish it up in the next 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Listen, Gerald, I'm going to say this real quick, and I said it a little bit earlier. You want to talk about wrapping this promotion up? First of all, guys, when this promotion is over, the opportunity is just as great, if not better, without the promotion. And the reason being is because as you rank up, those leadership bonuses kick back in. Everything you've done to lay the groundwork now, okay, that all will feed those leadership bonuses. Some of you will be making as much on leadership bonuses every week and every day as you do off of your daily guarantee residual income. And so I think that's important to know. And the value is still there. Okay. And we're going back to $100 one time, $149.97 a month for the membership. Everything still applies. We guarantee to put more money back into your pocket than what it costs you to participate, or we'll just give you a full refund. Okay, so no risk to anybody, and in a time that it couldn't be more needed. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Gerald, me, Fernando, Ben, all of the great leaders that are on this team right now, guys, we can tell you all of these amazing things. And we can give you all kinds of marching orders, okay? But I'm going to just be real blunt, like Fernando said, okay? Because he knows me and he knows I don't like pulling punches, and I'm not about hype. And you know, I feel like with any leadership, they have a responsibility to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear, okay? So with your permission, I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. And this is cold, hard truth, facts, whatever you want to call it. Until you eliminate excuses, until you eliminate plan Bs, to where I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying quit thinking that you're going to hit the lottery. Quit thinking that you're going to inherit a bunch of money. Quit thinking that some miracle is going to happen that's going to make you rich. Because I will tell you, or wealthy, because I will tell you, you've got a better chance of being struck by lightning, you know, probably 5 times in your life than you do of hitting the lottery or any of those other things happen. Okay. It's just reality. If it was so easy, then how come 90% of America is struggling right now? If it was so easy, you don't want it to be easy. You don't want it to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be wealthy. Okay. And if that was the case, there would be no opportunity in what we're doing. The opportunity comes from being willing to do what other people won't do, so you can have what other people don't have. And it's just a cold, hard fact. Now, here's the last thing I'm going to tell you. When I say eliminate your plan Bs and your excuses, until you make the decision that I'm going to give this thing 110%, I'm going to give it everything I've got. I'm going to stop playing around with it. I'm going to stop treating it like a hobby. I'm going to treat it like the multi-million-dollar opportunity that it is. Until you make that decision, you eliminate those excuses and you stop thinking about a plan B. Until you do that, you're not going to have any success. You're just not. And that's as blunt as I can be about it, because I will tell you right now, when Zena Edgehill made the decision that she was going to start sharing this thing, big things started happening for Zena. Same with Ira Jackson. Same with Gerald Parker. Same with Benjamin McCrae. Same with Fernando Ramirez. Montavo Lewis, 68 people in his organization in 48 hours. And more have came in since. I'm just going off of what was there, before. But more have already came in. Literally, he'll be at $100 a day in probably 3 or 4 days of being in this business. He's not this massive networker that has thousands of people that he can put into this thing. He just did the work. He followed the system. He used the tools. He doesn't even know enough yet about MWR, which is probably a good thing.
Right.
Because too many times you end up thinking, I have to know all this stuff. It's this, you cannot say the right thing or the wrong thing to the right person. And you know more than anybody else that you're talking to. I don't care if you just started today. If you've seen a presentation, you know more than anybody else you're going to talk to. But what's going to motivate them is your excitement and a sense of urgency. And if you can maintain that, the person who can maintain that excitement and that sense of urgency, Ben talked about my passion. I'm 7 years into this thing. I'm more excited now than I was 7 years ago, guys. But I've learned to maintain that excitement. And you know how I do it? I stay active in my business. I make sure that every day there is some type of good news that I'm either going to share or I'm going to hear from somebody else that's going to motivate and excite me to continue for the next day. Wow. Every day I hear something positive about what we're doing. Every day I try to create something positive about what I'm doing. Okay. And if I do those things and I'm constantly seeing results from those type of actions, there is no amount of no's or negativity that can hold me back. Just can't happen. But until you make that decision, it's going to be tough, guys. It's going to be tough. You'll spin your wheels. You'll probably put in somebody today and well, I'll help them get started next week. And oh, well, you know what? I haven't done anything for a few weeks. Let me get back started. That start-stop mentality doesn't work. Doesn't work. Ask one successful business owner that has ever said, well, I just worked every other day or when I wanted to, and it all worked out for me. Doesn't work like that, guys. Those 10,000 man hours that were put in to start this company, I promise you, and Gerald knows this, 16, 18-hour days were nothing for me. Nothing. Because I was willing to do whatever it took, because I knew the vision and the mission and the ministry and the movement that we were trying to create was way bigger than I am. I'll get all the sleep I need when I'm dead and when the job is done. When the job is done. But if you don't have that type of mentality and you can't make yourself get that type of mentality and you want to run around, and I'm going to say this because I know we're at 9:23 and we need to get off here, Gerald.
Yes, sir.
If you want to run around thinking that this is supposed to be easy and I shouldn't have to work hard to get it, and I say work hard, but realize my example of working hard for you is a lot different than what my example of working hard was for me. And I am nothing special, guys. I am nothing special. I promise you. Small town farm boy from Falmouth, Kentucky. I contribute 99% of my success to being willing to do what other people weren't willing to do. And because of that, I can now do whatever I want, whenever I want, for as long as I want, with whoever I want. And I want the same thing for you. But you've got to be willing to work hard now to be able to have it easy later. Or guess what you'll do? You'll work hard for the rest of your life. So you got to make that choice. You got to make that choice. And I hope you make the right choice. And I'll love you regardless of what choice you make. And I'm grateful that you're here. And I'm grateful you're getting whatever you're getting out of MWR. Because I know it can't be nothing but positive. So with that, I appreciate every single one of you. But do yourself a favor. If you want massive success, create massive action and make a massive decision. A massive decision to get it done. And commit to it. Give it 6 months and watch what happens to your life. With that said, Gerald, love you guys. I appreciate you, man, so much. Your leadership. Guys, you are so blessed to have a Gerald Parker as a leader, because this business is all about helping enough other people get what they want so you can get what you want. And you could not ask for somebody that is more of a servant leader than what Gerald Parker is. And I'll extend that to Fernando and Ben and so many other great leaders on this team, because great leaders create other great leaders. And I can tell Gerald Durall's team follows your lead because they care about people and they want to do the right things and they want to help people win. So love you, man.
Hey, love you too. But I want to give a programming note real quick, guys. We're going to transition over to MWR.live. That is where the Senior Executive Field Development, Brian N. Bean, is going to be with our back to school wealth class. That class is almost in session, so let's jump on that. But Mr. House, before you go, I want you to leave us with the quote that you shared with me years ago. You talked about dreaming big and being bold, and mighty forces will begin. Give me that one, sir, if you would.
Yeah, one of my mentors always used to say this to me, and it meant a lot to me because I was a small town farm boy, remember. But he knew that I always thought small, okay? Just because I was from a small town and I wasn't thinking big enough. And he looked at me and he would always say, Brian, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Dream big and be bold, because great and mighty forces will come to your aid. And he said, when you start dreaming big and you be bold like that, he said, that's when you'll get the results. And he was absolutely right. When I stopped limiting my beliefs and started dreaming bigger and then working towards those dreams, everything I ever wanted to happen happened, guys. It just happened. So, and great and mighty forces came to my aid, because the man upstairs has dropped things that I never thought were possible, and things, Gerald, even in this business, that we didn't think we would get through, and he came through with an answer just like that. So
yes, sir.
Love you guys.
We love you too. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. Guys, let me get your settings unlocked here so that you can say goodnight, and also thank Mr. House for his time. And we're going to jump
again,
on
Mr. House. Awesome
we're going to jump on the
great,
other
great call
platform
tonight, guys.
You guys can unmute yourself and open your cameras if you care to. We're going to jump on the other platform at MWR.live. Let's get that training we need tonight to keep moving.
Appreciate you, Mr. House. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Parker.
Thank you.
God bless you all. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. House. Thank you, Dr. Parker.
Mr. House.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. House.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you, Mr. House.
Thank you.
Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. Appreciate that. See you guys.
Good.
Bye.
Good night, sir. God bless you guys.
Good night, Park.
Good night, sir. Thank you.
Good night, Parker.
Good night, sir.
Thanks, Gerald. See you
Good night,
later.
Parker.
Well,
Thanks.
absolutely.
So it's both the, so that.